Hi, Mark here. It is Tuesday, February the 3rd, 7:53 a.m. Eastern. That's 12:53 p.m. GMT. US session about to get underway. Let's have a look how the markets are positioned this morning. US dollar index sitting in the middle of today's range, looking to continue and add to the uptrend we saw, which was initiated yesterday, and the last 4 days have been bullish demand for US dollars. I got resistance at 97.54, slightly below yesterday's high. I've got support at 97.20. And there you see the small green candlestick. Tried higher early on in the Asian European session, has come off since then. We'll see whether demand for US dollars continues once the US session gets underway and whether this intraday resistance can be tested. Alternatively, if we see a turnaround from strong to weak US dollar and sellers look down at the 97.20 support level. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. Strong day yesterday. And in the futures market, demand for US equities continuing with that push higher. Hour and a half until Wall Street opens up. So we'll see once the US session gets underway and once Wall Street opens up. If this can continue, it'll be the third attempt to break above this 7,025. Failed beginning of the month, failed a couple of days ago, and now we'll see beginning of February whether its third attempt, whether buyers can break above this level and maintain above the 7,000 mark, or if sellers do step in and look down at the 7,005, the 7,000 support level. Let's have a look at gold. Nice fight back from gold today. I've got support at 4,742. I've got resistance at 4,957. So a strong push higher from gold, demand for gold, buyers seeing the sell-off we've seen over the past 3 days as an opportunity to get in, perhaps at these lower prices. 5,000, the next level on the upside. We'll see whether that continues now that the US session is underway and whether demand for gold does continue. The 5,000 level is tested or higher. If we're going to see sellers step in, might well look at bouncing down off the 5,000 area, now sitting at 4,912, and look back down to the low of the day at 4,742. From a fundamental point of view, certainly nothing's changed with gold's safe haven status. The sell-off seems to be profit taking and the overbought technicals which we had. So we'll see whether gold can bounce back, whether it remains around this level just under the 5,000. We'll see once the US session does get underway. Let's have a look at Brent oil. Brent oil fighting back today as well. You can see I've got support at $65.12. I've got resistance at 66.62. Strong last week, Brent oil demand for Brent oil. Then we had the big gap down to start the new week yesterday and to start the new month, and sellers did dominate yesterday. But now you can see, even though there was an initial push lower down to the 65.12 support, buyers now fighting their way back. First target will be to take out yesterday's high at 67.33, perhaps push higher and try and reverse this newly formed downtrend which we saw yesterday. But gold on the front foot to start the day and going into the US session. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin fought back yesterday. Not a really strong fight back. Downtrend still very much intact. Wasn't able to take out yesterday's high, and today has attempted that high again at 79.2. So buyers struggling to get back above, to retest and get above that 80,000 level. Small red candlestick today. I've got support at 77.4 thousand. If there's going to be a continuation of selling Bitcoin and crypto weakness, sellers will look to break below the 77,500. Looking at yesterday's low at 74,500, buyers may retest for the third time this resistance level to get back to the 80,000, but looking bearish, and buyers certainly tilted to the downside at this point. Good trading, keep that discipline, and I'll see you at the end of the session.